Hey, what's up guys? We're back with another Galaxy of Heroes video, and I've been asked a lot if I would make like a beginner's guide or a farming guide, and I'm not really sure that I'm ready to make like a farming guide or something. So today we're just going to talk about 20 tips for beginner and intermediate players for Galaxy of Heroes that are just getting started or have been playing for just a little while and you're about to hit maybe 1 million or 1.5 million GP. Let's go ahead and get started. First, big one, should I go after a galactic legend first or should I go the traditional route of getting legendaries first? That's a tough question. That's the tall roster versus wide roster question. Do you want to be really good at squad arena and be able to get a lot of crystals, which is going to take probably a year to a year and a half? Or do you want to have a lot of legendary characters and be able to excel in like Grand Arena Championships, be able to help your guild out with territory wars, territory battles, stuff like that? Me personally, I value Grand Arena a lot more, so I would go the traditional route. However, if you just really want to have the best character in the game, go for a Galactic Legend. It's unlikely that the meta is going to change because CG did tell us that Galactic Legends are going to be the power ceiling, at least for the near future. Next, what faction should I focus on at the beginning of the game? Again, it depends on if you're going for tall roster versus wide roster. If you're going for tall roster, I would go after Phoenix and then First Order so that you can get Palpatine, Thrawn, and then go after your First Order team. If you're going wide roster, I would go for Phoenix and then Jedi, then go after, maybe Separatists for Padme, Old Republic for Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan, those guys. Geonosians are also a very good team to have at the early game, especially because then you can help a guild contribute Watt Shards. Next, should I use my crystals to buy characters that I want or that I think are good? No. Use your crystals on refreshes for hard nodes or for energy so that you can get more XP, more gear, and you can still get your character shards. Should I use my crystals to buy gear? Again, no. Use your energy on refreshes and on hard node refreshes. You'll get plenty of gear by requesting it from your guilds, from getting them from the different stores, from getting them from raids, and stuff like that. Should I buy sim tickets with my crystals? Again, no. Use your crystals on energy refreshes and hard node refreshes. It's still going to be a 33% drop rate for character shards regardless of if you're using sim tickets or if you're just doing the battles. So just do the battles and put them on auto. I can't beat anyone in Squad Arena. Is my Squad Arena team bad? Well, that depends. First off, do you even have a leader in the leader spot? Does your team have synergy? That means, do they interact well together? Are they all Jedi? Are they all clones? Are they all First Order? Etc. Does your leader's ability affect every member of your team? If you answered no to any of these questions, then you probably have a bad team for Squad Arena and you might want to change it up. How many characters should I be farming at a time? That's a hard question to answer. At the beginning, because it's a lot easier to farm characters thanks to the double drops, you can farm more characters. I would say, maybe 5 to 10. 10 might be a little much, but it's not that hard to get shards anymore, especially from the stores because you're going to be farming a lot of characters out of the stores. When it comes to gearing up characters, however, I would focus on a core like maybe 4 or 5, the ones that you're using in Squad Arena and for the Galactic War Table. If you spread out your gear too much and you start to gear like 10 or 11 or 12 characters, you're gonna have a lot of gear spread out and you're gonna have a lot of characters that are okay, but you're not gonna have any that are good enough to really compete in Squad Arena or the Galactic War Table. What's a good beginning team for the Squad Arena? The Phoenix is a good team. Separatists are a pretty good team, but they're a little bit harder to get. You need a little bit better of a Separatist team that you can get below level 50. After that, Jedi with Basta lead, very good beginning team. What's a good team for soloing the Galactic War Table? Jedi with Basta lead, hands down, because Basta will start with protection up every single time you start a battle, regardless of if you lost it in a previous battle, you start with it all over again next battle. It almost eliminates the need for a healer, and healers are only good at the beginning of the game. Later on, with a few exceptions, healers are not needed. They're not that great. Your team is probably going to look something like Bastila, Kanan, Ezra, Grandmaster Yoda, and then a fifth, probably someone like Ahsoka, Jolie, maybe, but probably Ahsoka. She's pretty easy to get in the Cantina store. If I'm just starting out in the game, how do I get into a good guild? Answer, you're not going to. Don't try to join a guild that's got 150 million GP and is getting like 20 Watt Shards. They're not going to let you in because you don't have anything to contribute. Go to a big YouTuber's Discord server and put in there that you're a new free-to-play player or just a new player to the game and you're looking for a beginner guild. There are plenty of beginner guilds out there that would love to help you out and have you join. If I'm an intermediate player, how do I get a good guild to want me? Answer 1, have a decent roster. Have some good characters that can contribute to territory battle and territory wars. Have characters like Jedi Knight Revan, Darth Revan, all of those kinds of guys. If you have a Galactic Legend, they're probably going to want you too. Also remember that having a good core group of strong characters is more important than having a lot of GP. If you have a 3 million GP roster with a bunch of really crappy characters versus a 1.5 to 2 million GP roster with CLS, Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Training Ray, all of those people, the second roster is a lot better and a lot more attractive to guilds. Number 2, have something to offer the guilds. Have a Geo team to help get Watt Shards. Have a Shock T Clones team to help get Cam Shards. Have something that your guild will need. Lastly, be willing to dedicate your time to the game. Make sure that you can participate in territory battle in all phases. Make sure to join wars and deploy and attack. Make sure you're able to get 600 raid tickets every single day. A lot of guilds, if you don't do these things, they will kick you out. Next, at the beginning of the game, how much should I focus on mods? Do I need to be upgrading all of my mods? Yes and no. You definitely want to be farming a large repertoire of mods from the challenge tier 3 of mods. Again, don't farm like 1 and 2 dot mods. Make sure you're getting 5 dot mods from the challenge tier 3. And I would focus on upgrading and slicing mods that are good for your core group of characters, your Squad Arena team or your Galactic War Table team. Remember that at the beginning of the game, credits are a very important resource, and mods are very expensive to upgrade. Don't waste all of your credits upgrading your mods and then have crappy characters. Mods are extremely important to the game and make or break teams, but they're not going to make up for having like level 50 characters when you're fighting level 80 characters. Also, be smart about upgrading and slicing mods. Don't upgrade them to level 15 all the way. Always upgrade them so that you can reveal all the secondaries to determine if the mod is worth slicing or not. Next, how do I know if a mod is worth upgrading or slicing? Like I said in the last one, make sure to upgrade it so that you can reveal all of the secondaries. Don't automatically go to level 15. Don't waste your credits. What does that mean? That means if it's a gray mod, upgrade it to level 12. If it's a green mod, 9. Blue, go up to 6. Purple, go up to 3. And yellow, you're already going to get to see them all. Once you see all the secondaries, then try to determine if the mod is going to be good. For the most part, again, there are exceptions to this, but for the most part, if a mod does not have any speed secondaries on it, I generally trash it. Again, there are other secondaries that are important, I know, but for the most part, for 80% of your roster, speed is going to be important. So if there's a mod that has 0 speed on it, for the most part, you can probably trash it. If a mod has a good primary for the set it's in, then go ahead and probably keep it as well. Even if it doesn't have speed, it still might be helpful because your lower characters are also going to need mods as well. And you're going to have to prioritize your good mods on your good characters. For example, a critical damage mod with a critical damage primary is probably going to be a pretty decent mod. Even if it doesn't have speed, someone will probably find a use for it. If a mod has a terrible primary, go ahead and trash it. I'm looking at you, accuracy arrows. If a mod is less than 5 dots, go ahead and trash it. You only want 5 dot mods. They give you the best primary upgrades. Next question, should I subscribe to Hotutils for mod management? Answer, no. At the beginning of the game, absolutely not. At the beginning of the game, you're not going to have enough mods, you're not going to have enough characters that it's not going to be worth your time, and it's not going to be worth your money. Hotutils is not free. It does cost $10 a month. However, once you get higher, 4 million, 5 million GP, maybe even 3 million, and you have a lot of characters and a lot of mods and you're constantly switching them out, then Hotutils is definitely a great time saver and it's a great tool to have. Other than legendary characters and the teams required for them, what are some other characters that I should farm early in the game? Number 1, my favorite team and what I think is the most important free-to-play team, Night Sisters plus Jedi Knight Anakin. They're all pretty easy to farm with the exception of Mother Talzin, and she's really the only required hard node 20 energy farm. They're very nice for dealing damage early on in the raids and competing at a very early level in the heroic Sith raid. Another very good one that's going to be a little later on because they're a little bit more expensive a team is going to be Shock T plus clones. They're needed for cam shards. They're a very good team to get. They also can deal a lot of damage in the raids, more than the Night Sister team, but they are more expensive to get. Geonosians, again, a little bit later tier, but they are a very, very good team. They are needed to get Watch Shards. They will be very attractive to a guild. Early one and easy one to get Kylo Ren, both masked and unmasked. Masked Kylo Ren is very nice for Grand Arena for soloing a lot of teams. Old Republic, Ewoks, some weak Mon Mothma teams, some weak Geo teams, some weak clone teams. Kylo is a very, very good character in the early game and in the late game, but Kylo Ren Unmasked is a very good tank. And in the early game, characters can have a really hard time dealing with him, especially if they don't have characters that deal a large amount of damage. Sometimes Kylo Ren Unmasked can stop an entire team just because they can't deal enough damage to overcome his health regeneration. Finally, a little bit later in the game, Enfys Nest is another really great character. She's very annoying on defense, and on offense, she can solo easy teams like Ewoks. Ships are not fun. Can I just ignore them? Answer, no. Ships are one of the few places that free-to-play players and new players can be competitive. Because they don't change a lot, which is a good and a bad thing, it means that they do become stale and they're really, sometimes not fun. But they do allow free-to-play players to be competitive since the meta doesn't change very often. So it's a good way to get crystals. You also need to make sure to do the challenges so you can get more Zeta materials. What ships should I focus on? That's a good question. I would start off going after Geos and then Galactic Republic's ships. Rebel ships are also incredibly good, and a relic rebel fleet is very scary. However, they do require characters that are not very good. They are getting better with like Mon Mothma and stuff like that. But still, Geonosians are going to be helpful to get you to the Zeta material challenge, and Republic teams are going to be important for getting like to the gas event. So all 3 of those I would say are good fleets to start with. However, I would focus on Geos just so you can make sure that you can beat that Zeta mat challenge. Should I spend my ally points on bronzium packs or on shipments in the store? Answer, bronzium packs. They will get you much more bang for your buck. Sometimes those shipments look really attractive in the store because it's like, I really need that gear and it's a really quick buy. But it's a lot of ally points to get that gear. At the beginning of the game, you're going to need the gear from the bronzium packs anyways, and in the late game, you're going to need that gear to do relic slicing materials. Also, even though the characters that you get from them aren't necessarily all good, once you get them to 7 stars, bronzium packs are going to be a very convenient way to get shard store currency, which is a good place to get gear. You will get much more bang for your buck getting the shard store currency and getting gear from there than just buying the gear outright from the shipments using your ally points. I've hit a point where I can't beat the hard node battles that I'm at. What should I do? Answer, either A, gear up your characters that you have and just wait, or B, find allies that have really good characters and use them to help you beat these battles. Do not waste your energy on battles that you can't beat. If you try it once and you can't beat it and you don't have an ally to bring in, just don't try it anymore. Energy is a valuable resource. You don't want to be wasting it. A lot of YouTubers have Discord servers. I will put a link to mine down in the description. But in those Discord servers, they have a lot of people that have good characters that would be willing to be your allies to help you finish those hard mode battles. Also, feel free to send me an ally request. I have some pretty good characters as well. I will put my ally code down in the description. I can only have 50 allies though, and I already have some that are my friends. So if I don't accept it, that's why I have maxed out. Should I farm and 7-star every character that are available in all of the stores? Answer, no. There are a lot of characters in those stores that are worthless, like Mob Enforcer, Tuscans, stuff like that. They're not good. Don't farm them. I would farm the core characters that are good that you're going to use. Again, there are a lot of videos, there are a lot of guides online that tell you which characters you're going to need. I would go after them only. After you farm those and you have currency and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, go ahead and refarm those characters. It's going to give you shard store currency, which you can use to get gear. Okay, guys, I'm sure I didn't answer everything with that, but hopefully you found that helpful, and hopefully for you beginner and intermediate players, you found some value in this. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. You stream Grand Arena every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you found this helpful, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments as well. If you have any tips for other new players, please also leave those down in the comments. Guys, thank you so much. That's all I've got for you today. Again, comment if you have any questions, any help, or if you have any video suggestions on other videos you'd like to see for Galaxy of Heroes. And until then, we'll talk to you later. Have a good one.